Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I have all kinds of interesting things here, but I wanted to start by telling you this. I just got off the phone with someone, and they were telling me about how a friend of mine was telling me about how their accountants, they're starting to hear accountants talk about digital assets now and talk about some of the money that's being made by their clients and all. I told you the other day, when the accountants and the PricewaterhouseCoopers start auditing and have the capability to audit all this, that's how you know we're really getting adoption, is because once everybody finds out how to tax all of this, that's when you know this is for real. And that's what's happening right now. But not just that, it's the FOMO of these accountants seeing how much money's involved, and that word begins to spread. Okay, Barry Silbert sent this up. Well, this certainly isn't very bullish for gold. So much for scarcity. It's an article about how they've discovered a giant golden asteroid that contains enough heavy metals to make everyone on Earth, I guess, rich. And apparently NASA saw this or whatever. They call it Psyche 16. It's nestled between Mars and Jupiter is what they said. But now, if there actually is gold on a planet like that, don't think for a minute that at some point the United States will and the globes, they will figure out how to go and get that gold. But I can promise you one thing, and I retweeted this and I said, they're not going to find another 100 billion XRP on another planet. I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, next from Chinu Patel at Chinu Patel 29 sent me this. Binance and Facebook engaged in official discussions over Libra. Now this is interesting, folks, from a couple of perspectives. Binance has engaged in official discussions with Facebook and is very excited about the Libra project. The exchange's strategy officer Jen Chow told Block TV in an interview. I think the potential that Libra can have, not just on mass adoption, but what it means to payments and forcing regulators' hands to catch up a bit, is all good news. It wouldn't just be Facebook's interest to list their coin on our exchange. It would also be in their interest to list on other exchanges as well. And that's probably going to happen. So if they decide to go on a public chain and they get the sort of adoption that they could get, we would probably want to list them. All right, now this is the overall point. This is what you should get out of this as an XRP holder or any other holder, Bitcoin, whatever. What you should get out of this is what I said from the very beginning about Libra. This is going to be a bridge for all of those billions of customers that they have to get online with digital assets. Just like the comparison was made last week, this is like AOL was for the internet. It brought on the average people, brought them online, brought them into the game. That's what this Libra is. And what's great about it is it's not just Libra. There's going to be Google, Netflix, all of these major companies are going to bring their customers online. And once they do, those digital assets will begin popping up on different exchanges like Binance. And as you can see, whereas we have 300 and something billion in this, all of a sudden, this is going to, before you know it, you're going to look up and this is going to be trillions of dollars in this market. It's going to be much more liquid than it is right now. And that is why, one of the reasons why this is all so exciting. Eric Voorhees, this is the CEO of Shapeshift. Is it Shapeshift? I think it's Shapeshift. He says, keep buying Bitcoin until CNBC says to buy it. Now he's 1,000% right on that. And when that is the sell signal when you see CNBC doing lessons on how to buy Bitcoin. He makes a very good point there. Okay, Dave Jones at Dave_Jones_02. He's a definite follow in the XRP community. A significant metric that went largely unnoticed. MoneyGram has 22,000 active corridors. It makes sense for Ripple to focus now on getting as much of these as possible active through XRapid, exponentially increasing network value with every single one and growing XRP liquidity. Now, when you hear the terms growing XRP liquidity, that means adding more billions of dollars into XRP, whereas right now it stands at what, into the $15 billion or so in XRP. We're talking billions, and in my pie in the sky belief that I talked about in the last video, I truly do believe in my gut that Ripple and XRP do not represent billions. I believe that Ripple and XRP represent trillions going through XRP at some point. That's what I truly believe. And that's not some belief that I just thought up. That is after listening to not one, but several of the people at Ripple talking several times over the course of the last few years about how they're trying to solve multi-trillion-dollar problems. I showed you in the last video, Chris Larson talking about the trillions that are around the world that he thinks XRP can have a hand in fixing the current system. In other words, SWIFT. But we're not talking about billions in XRP, folks. We're talking about trillions. That's what the goal is. Okay. Next, the Spectator. These are all from Chinu Patel. The Spectre Index. Bitcoin price 1 year ago, 6,189. 6 months ago, 3,689. 3 months ago, 4,080. 1 month ago, 8,672. 1 week ago, 9,741. Now, $11,300. That's amazing. Next, this was a good one too. There's $8 trillion in gold. There's $90 trillion in liquid cash. There's $250 trillion in real estate. It has to squeeze into roughly 10 million liquid Bitcoin. And he's using the figure 10 million. I think because of all the private keys that have been lost and the fact that some of it hasn't been mined yet. He says, do the math. And we haven't even spoken about the inflation that is yet to come. Boy, does this guy make some good points. Okay. Next, this is an interesting tweet too. Is RippleNet XRapid about to hit SBI virtual currencies? That's what that handle is for. He copies that to Yoshitaka Katal. This is a tweet from SBI virtual currencies, folks. And don't forget this. The word is that SBI virtual currencies is opening in July, as in this July, as in a few days from now, July. Says, notice, and there's some things lost in translation because this is a Japanese tweet and we just translated it. Suspension of payment of Japanese yen. Please note that deposits to are not available due to maintenance at Sumishin SBI Net Bank during the following VC trading hours. Thank you for understanding. This is just some tweet, but they're just basically asking the question, is this about to go live? And a lot of people believe that when they actually do go live, that this is the thing that's going to open up the floodgates. Remember, during the bull run of 2017, Korea, Japan, Asia, that is where the most demand of anywhere came for XRP. That's when CoinMarketCap stopped showing the calculations for the prices over there because their prices were so much higher than U.S. prices because the demand was so high. And it really made a lot of us angry, and it started the tanking of XRP when CoinMarketCap took those calculations off, and we won't forget that. Okay, next from Michael at BAL5 Links. Weiss Ratings predicts high DApp market dominance for Cardano. Now, we haven't heard much out of Weiss. I haven't covered Weiss Ratings in a while. It says ADA's commitment to high assurance code and through testing before release means its DApps will rest atop a solid foundation. Emphasis on security while transitioning to POS is unique to the project. These features may ensure its sustainability and market dominance. Folks, my three holdings, it's all I own now. Bitcoin, XRP by far my largest holding, and Cardano. Those are the three. Cardano I've been watching for a few years now. Myself, I've studied it. My dad studied it. We talk about it a lot. Charles Hoskinson's a genius. Cardano is unique in the digital asset world in that it's been they have bounced this around by some of the smartest people in the world. It's kind of like a project that has been worked on by geniuses around the world to put together the ultimate smart contract platform, digital asset. And then recently Cardano hired a public a guy to speak on their behalf or whatever. And I thought that they needed that. Well, I believe Cardano is primed to really make some moves personally. Okay. Next from Michael at BAL5 Links again. I'm not going into this article. It speaks for itself. Bloomberg Intelligence senior commodity strategist Mike McGlone has turned bullish on Bitcoin and says the leading cryptocurrency is now on track to set new highs. Well, I've told you for many months that the traditional financial media, when it's all said and done, once they're all getting paid to do so, they will be coming into digital assets full steam ahead. They will be the biggest cheerleaders there are. And this is the kind of stuff you're starting to see. Next, the crypto utility guy. I'll just read this. It speaks for itself. Bitcoin heading for fifth month of gains despite price correction. And I'll just say this. In every bull run I've been in, you have price corrections like what we had yesterday. It happens. It's part of it. Those are your buying opportunities. The trend of digital assets is up, up, and away. And that trend is going to remain in place because this is the first new digital asset since 1600s when they created the bonds, folks. Next, X-Men XRP at XRP33 sent me this. Trader who called current Bitcoin rally warns of altcoin.com bubble. Now, here's what I want to say about this. First, I want to say in terms of bubble, we've only gotten into the 300 billion. The highest crypto has ever been is 850 billion. I don't believe the frenzy that's going to happen has even begun to begin yet, folks, because we haven't had enough money in it. We haven't really had the world really go at digital assets. Not the way the dot-com bubble was, not even close, because 9 to 13 trillion, which is what went into that dot-com bubble at the height, we're not even close to that in today's dollars. It's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be 20 to 30 trillion dollars just to match the amount of money in today's value of dollars that was done in the .com. But I believe it's going to be bigger than that because this is the internet of value, whereas that was the internet of information. This is the internet of money, which is what makes the world go round. But this article does make one good point. The trader who called current Bitcoin rally warns of altcoin.com bubble. He says crypto maniacs expect alts to do so again. They may be very disappointed. He's talking about altcoins following Bitcoin. I think that he's right in one way of what he's saying in this article. There are a lot of altcoins that are just garbage, and I do believe a lot of those will collapse. I don't necessarily believe they will collapse during this bull run. I believe maybe at the height of this next bull run, many of those will collapse and those people will go out of business. But I believe that the XRPs and the Cardonas and the Ethereums, I believe that those are going to eclipse even what Bitcoin does in this bull run. So those are not by any means going to be things that collapse. And I don't think he's talking about those. Finally, I'm going to end this video with this from XRP Miami at XRP_Mammy. Or not Miami, Mammy. If you're going to complain 24/7, sell your bag, please. It's all or zero for me. To the moon or the grave. 100% XRP. Put your big boy pants on and let's get it. And copied me on this. What I would say to that is, if you are people who went through the pullback like yesterday and that immediately freaks you out, you need to do one of two things. Because if you get freaked out when that happens, you need to do one of two things. You either don't belong in this and you need to sell your digital assets because this is going to be a volatile ride. It's going to be a roller coaster. You either need to get out because you don't have the stomach for this, okay? Or You need to put your digital assets on a Ledger Nano S safely, and you can get that in the description of every video I do. Put them on a Ledger Nano S, put the Ledger Nano S in your fire safe, and hide your private keys and all, and the 24 words and all of that, where nobody will ever find them. And you need to go away from this space, and you need to come back in about 2 years, and you can thank me then. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that digital assets are here to stay, and a lot of people are going to get very wealthy, and I believe Ripple and XRP are much bigger than anyone really thinks. Thank you for listening.